Hello everybody, it's vanburman here, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at something a bit different, or a bit more random I suppose. I'm going to have a look at this graphics card here, which only one fan spins for some reason. But yeah, we're just going to take it apart, have a look at it. It's obviously a used eBay job, so we'll see what you can expect. You know, cards that have been well used and, well, even if they are looked after, still do get dust build-up. Don't know why my cheeks have gone red. Must be hot. So I'm going to turn the test bench off to start off with. On a side note though, I quite like how these cables are going around like that. It looks very neat. So this other fan here will actually spin, but only when it gets up to around 80%. So if I manually force it to 80%, it works. But unfortunately, other than that, it doesn't, and I believe it's an issue with the card, which means it's not necessarily on its way out, because, you know, it doesn't stop it from working, but yeah, it's not probably as good as it could be. So instead of being a dual fan, it's a single fan. So this one is, make sure I get it right, the 7870 gigahertz edition, 2 gigs of RAM on this one, DDR5, should be GDDR5, yeah, GDDR5. And it's got like some pretty hefty copper pipes on there, and you might be able to tell, don't know if you can on video actually, but there's a decent amount of dust in there, like slightly higher than average. So I'm just going to mess around with the camera now, and then we're going to flip back down, and yeah, at the end we're just going to strip it, clean it, put it back in, and touch wood, hopefully it still works. I realise it's probably not necessarily the most organised workspace you've ever seen. Everything's everywhere, and there's quite a large angle on here as well, but I'll quickly go through the few bits that I've got. So I've got a can of compressed air duster. There's a bit left in it, so I'm sure that will be fine and get dust everywhere. Obviously, usually you would do this outside. And you can also use a hoover as well, which I've done many times before, obviously, being careful. I've got some blue roll, baby blue roll, that I will put down and try to use for other stuff. I bought some of this, which I've not opened yet, is isopropyl alcohol, so that's good for cleaning electronic components, and also what the blue roll is for, naturally. A mouse for my work laptop, and some new thermal paste. So I don't know if I've got enough ceramic left. This is an extremely old one. I don't obviously would ever recommend you using 10-year-old thermal paste, but I've still got it, and it's probably going to be better than the hardened stuff that's going to be on this graphics card. And if failing that, I've got some Noctua thermal paste that I haven't had quite as long. So plenty of options there. I've also got, if needed, a microfiber cloth as well. Right. Make sure you have your screwdriver set to the right way. That always helps. So we're quite fortunate actually that this card has very few screws by comparison. If you're trying to take apart any of the reference GTX cards, more modern ones, they've got screws all over the shop. Screws on the shroud to get the shroud off, to then take the heatsink off. Yeah, it's a bit of a faff, I must say. So I'd always recommend having somewhere to put your screws. I don't, but it's more do as I say, not as I do. And I think we might have, do we have to take, I don't think we got to take the shield off. I think this should just, there we go, lovely, just pop off. So as you can see from the board here, we've got the main computing chip in the centre, which will clean off. There's obviously a good amount of thermal paste on the cooler as well, and a heck of a lot of dust just around there. Look, that bit's even got in right near the copper base. There's a little bit on the main board as well, a bit on the capacitors. Almost looks like there's a capacitor missing there, but I think that's just a screw hole. And yeah, these chips are a fair bit smaller than some of the ones I've seen, considering this is like a slightly older style of card. Probably the first thing we'll do is we'll clean up the main PCB board and try and get some of this dust off. So I think first port of call will be to get that thermal paste off so you don't end up getting it everywhere. I've not opened this yet. Ah, there we go. I think that's one of those child-proof ones. Ooh, okay, I was not expecting it to quite come out that quickly, but never mind. It's all good. So I think things like rubbing alcohol and that sort of stuff will do just as well. So if I ever end up doing a NVIDIA one of these, you'll probably be able to see that the dies on the NVIDIA ones are generally much bigger than this. Well, heat spreaders anyway, and actually require a lot more thermal paste, generally speaking. I can't remember which one I took apart recently. I think it might have been the 460 potentially. Things like, I don't know if glasses wipes and stuff, anti-static ones would be good for, you know, just the general housing and that sort of stuff, like on the top of that heat spreader and what have you, although the alcohol will also work fine for that. So you can see there's quite a lot of thermal paste here. Dust on there. Yeah, you know what? I don't think that's too bad. That'll do. So yeah, there you have it. A fairly clean example. Not too shabby, and we'll put this to one side. Ugh. Yeah, definitely do this outside. God, everywhere. Not even my dust. I'll let that thought sink in for a second. Oh, God. Right, so you can see I've already started making really good progress here. So try and get in between the fins as much as possible. I should just say this probably actually didn't really need doing. The temps weren't too bad at all, but just wanted to give it a fair shake. There you go, much better. And now dust everywhere, God. And I think we'll probably have enough ceramic to do this, which is good, because I can then throw this away. And it's very similar to a CPU amount actually for this one. Well, I say even less. Still got some ceramic left. Beautiful. May it last another 10 years. So that will probably do it for that chip, I would have thought. Will that be enough? Yeah, that'll be fine. And then just a matter of screwing these back in. So these, if you've not seen these screws before, they've obviously got springs on them, and that's to make sure it tightens, or you can't over tighten it effectively. And obviously being springed doesn't help either. Right, there we go. There you have it. It looks almost exactly the same, but with still loads of dust. I was actually quite surprised. How much dust went everywhere, don't know why. It's obviously going to happen that way. 3, 2, 1. Ah, turn the power supply off. Ah, fooled you. Boom. So we'll make a quick trip into MSI Afterburner. Get that up on the screen. Set the fan speed to manual. Put us up to, I think it's 82. It starts. No, higher than that. 86. 80 something. There you go. 86. Both fans going. So I guess, you know, it's not great in the fact that we only have one fan, but also if it ever got to within, I don't know, being thermally compromised, the second fan would kick on, which is good, I guess. The oil temperature has come down a bit, he says. Well, he's running it at 86. As always, careful what you end up buying. But just know it's not actually always too daunting, even if I've made a pig's ear of it. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you all very soon. Bye for now.